Welcome back to the Ultimate Dad, and this time we got to get something going on with this coop. These birds need some room to run. Hey guys, and again, welcome back to the channel. We had really good success with these chickens in this TEMU coop, and the TEMU coop is holding up perfect. We haven't had any issues with it other than these chickens have gotten so big. Even though this coop said it was for 4 hens, we got 4 in there, and it's a tight fit. It's a really tight fit. So we picked up a couple other additional pieces to give these guys a little bit more breathing room, and we're going to put that together, show you the SKU number, where we got it from, how much it costs, how easy is it to put together, and how's it going to benefit these guys? So we picked up this chicken coop edition. Now this is from Amazon, and I'm going to show you right now on the Amazon site. Hopefully this thing will focus. It probably won't focus one bit. That's okay. Come on, focus. Yeah, there you can see it. And that is, let's see, get the price in there. 87 something. So you figure around 90 bucks for this chicken coop. Now the TEMU coop is made out of wood. Probably a cheap wood that just sprayed a fancy color, but you can see the video that I had on that. The process of assembling was really easy. This one is made of metal. So the goal here is, can we get this thing assembled, blow it apart, let's make a mess in the garage, get it assembled, and then we're probably going to kick it sideways, blow the end out of the TEMU coop. Basically, they have like a big T to run, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of a little extra space to run around. And if we have to, we can always open up the other one because we got 2 of these, and we could do the same thing on the other end, just kind of make a labyrinth of places for them to go run. So first and foremost, let's get this box open, blown apart, and see what we got and try to find us some instructions. Well, as always, I want to show you the box before we even open it. It does have a little weight behind it. This whole thing is about 78 pounds. So if you need help, make sure you have it. But fairly long box. Plain Jane, just says chicken coop, but what's most important for you viewers is if you watch this video and you like what you see and you're interested, you could just do a Google or Amazon search on that SKU number right there, take you right to it on Amazon. That way you can make sure you get the same thing that we got. So let's get after this. So right off the rip, I'm thrilled because as a dad, and a lot of you dads are probably going to agree with me 100%. What I don't see in this is a 3-pound bag of cheap hardware, which I'm talking the screws and the nuts and bolts and all the crap that breaks and strips out and you have to deal with all the time. Now I didn't know that this thing was even coming. This just kind of showed up. Their aunt loaded us up with some more chicken coop stuff and said, here you go, this will help you out. And Debbie, appreciate that, by the way. But I think it's going to be a tremendous benefit to these chickens. The only hardware that I'm seeing looks like some zip ties, just some fasteners and some wire, which I'm guessing that's probably going to be the liner that goes over the roof. There's a small portion in this, if you can see, that does have, well, you can see it on the Amazon website, but it does have like a little roof. If the weather comes, they got a little place to go if they don't want to go all the way back up into the hen house. But honestly, this thing just looks like a pop-up canopy, one of those, 20 by 10, you stick them up, snap them together, or no different than a base of a trampoline, just has these spring-loaded little pins. So get it unboxed and start getting it assembled. You got to be kidding me. All right, before I start the cheesy chicken song, look what comes in these. Now, this is either a good thing or this is a warning. They give you gloves. What chicken coop gives you gloves?
My birds are singing so loud that I am feeling blue. The sky is so pure that I feel a void that's filling on my soul. I'm as empty as a drum. The sunshine, the weather is fine, but I can't believe it's true. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. I will always be beside you. I will always be true.
That was fun unpacking all those pipes. Now, you could wear the gloves that they supplied for removing all those pipes from the box, or you could just use a pair of latex gloves like that. There is a slight coating on this stuff, I'm sure, to keep corrosion, to keep everything nice and pretty until it's taken out of the box, but it will get all over your hands. So a pair of gloves probably is not a bad idea, but I think those gloves they sent are probably going to be for unrolling that roll of chicken wire that is supplied with this. And here we go. Don't mind all the mess on the toolbox and everything else. We are trying to build a race truck. But see here, you can do what you want to do, but this is how I like to do it before I even start on these projects. Directions are in hand. I like to kind of categorize everything into groups. I got those 2 oddball poles. I got that roll of chicken wire. This group of poles is all the same length. That group of poles is a little bit longer. There's a short group of poles, 2 more oddballs. These are our 4-way unions. These are just kind of whatever little unions. There's variable or variances in these, but they all have that little foot on it. So I just kind of group those together. And of course, these are just basically the end cap unions, or a 3-way, as you may want to call them. So there's not just a tremendous amount of pieces. Oh, not to mention the bag of stuff that I pulled the gloves out, and the tarp. So that was everything that was in the box. So we're going to start with, the truck. Yeah, if you're wondering about the truck, I'm getting there, okay? All right? I'm one person. That's a lot of work to do. If you notice this thing is starting to look like a Dalmatian, that is because we have finally moved on to body work. That's going to be a whole nother video coming up, but this thing is coming along great. And if you're interested in custom paint and learning how to do custom paint, this will be a how-to. I'm not doing a full, wild, basically unobtainable paint job for a professional, because for one, I'm not a professional, and I'm certainly not an artist. But to get basically a custom finish of your own using multiple colors and some bleed-through effects and stuff like that, basically just labeling the process. This is how you do this. This is the products that you use to do this. You're going to want to see that video, because this truck is going to look fantastic. But enough with trucks, chicken coops. So right out of the gate, it's got, I believe, it's going to be those shorter of that stack of long poles. There's the tall poles, and then there's the short ones. Those have got to be the number ones. Now, I don't know if those are labeled individually, but this is where the long poles are basically just making the base. You can kind of see what we're doing here. Is that focusing in on there? Yeah, see, we're just going to make the base. And then from there, that's the part that'll lay on the ground. And we're going to sink poles in each one of these uprights, which are the little feet brackets that have the, the little round foot on them. And then we're going to start our canopies, and then you can kind of get the idea. It's almost like the big chicken commercial, or the commercial chicken coops. But this all snaps together. There is not much to this at all, folks. I'm not going to lie. This ought to be real. It's got a door. It's got a big door in it. Well, I don't think it's going to be a big door. Okay. Well, we're just going to start doing it. Start laying stuff out. Oh, you know what? They are numbered. There's little stickers on there. All right. That's the base. Okay, let's just go ahead and lay these things out. Man, this thing's going to be long. And them birds are going to love this. Now, dads, I'm going to warn you. Unless you want more chickens than you already have, don't let your wife continue watching from here further. Because once you see the size of this thing, the first thing that I'm going to hear is, we can get more chickens. Which I'm not opposed to more chickens, but we don't need more chickens. This thing is massive. I just realized something that's pretty important. Look at this dimensions. That M means meters. Oh my word, this thing's going to be huge. Okay. We may have to install this thing outside. Don't underestimate the size of this thing. I've got the floor frame of this thing all assembled. I had to move it outside because there just wasn't enough room in the garage. Look at this. Now, mind you, I'm 6'1"-ish, something like that. So I'll take normal steps. You can literally fit probably 7 to 8 of the coops that they have right now in this thing alone. But the cool thing is it's only 78 pounds, so you still be able to move it pretty easy. All right, our next step is going to be to get, you can see here, focus in there, these uprights, and then we'll get our like cathedral bars put on. So that's going to be the next one. Now this is all snapping together real easy, so no complaints on the assembly. So the next one it's calling for is the number 4 poles. These are all the uprights that go around this thing. All right, next we're going to need the little pieces that let that hook in to basically these kind of arch frames. Let's go ahead and get those built. That'll be those pieces. The middle ones are these pieces right here. Okay, now we can run our uprights. This will tell you right off the cuff if I'll be able to stand up in here. I think I'm going to be able to stand up in, yep, there's no doubt. I can stand up in this thing. And I'm not a little feller. Hey. What's most shocking about this so far is the price. I do apologize for trying to do this in the dark, but I got excited. Act like you never been excited about putting something together. I know you guys out there got a fancy car part. Get it at 10 o'clock at night. You're going to be up till 3 o'clock in the morning installing it. And tell me I ain't lying. You know darn well you don't care if you got to work tomorrow or not either. So far, so good. I mean, everything's lining up pretty decent. It does come with like those little tent stakes. You've all seen them. That little piece of wire essentially with a 90-degree bend on the end of it. That's all they give you to anchor this thing down. Now, although there's only a small covering, the tarp that goes over the just one side of this is really, it's not that big. It just offers a little bit of shade protection if they needed it. But you got to factor in how wind resistant is this. Because if your luck's anything like mine, which is bad, I'm going to feel really good about this. And Mother Nature's going to be like, yep, you got a really good deal on that thing. Let me show them what I can do. And then you're coming up and you wake up next morning, thunderstorm come through, chickens are gone. This thing looks like a ball of bent up paper clips laying in your yard, or even better, your neighbor's yard, or even better, it's laying on your neighbor's Cadillac or something like that. Point of the story, you might want to upgrade on the fasteners to kind of sink this thing down into the earth. So here's all the poles that go about right where the bends are, all the way down, and of course the center support bars. Let's go ahead and get these installed, and we're going to call that for tonight. I'm losing so much lighting so quick, and I want the quality of the video to be good for you so you can get a clear understanding of what this thing's about and whether or not you'd like to purchase one. Let's go ahead and get these, then we'll do a quick walk around, shut it down. Now, I don't know how much flex this thing's going to have from one end to the other, so I do think it'd be better if you started from one end, did both sides and the top, and just worked your way all the way to the other end. That way you ain't having to push and prod and bend and, you know, say certain words and stuff like that. Perfect. There we have it. Well, here's our frame. I know you've been looking at that angle forever. Let's kind of walk around it this way. Kind of give you the sheer size of this. You can see it's big. But it will make some chickens happy. There's no doubt about that. This thing went together as easy as setting up a tent. Look at there. We're going to hang it up here for tonight and tomorrow. Got a couple things we got to knock out in the morning. One of them being, ooh, now the exposure is getting me real bright. I promise I have a little bit of a tan. I'm not that pale. But we got the boys in some, they got football practice tomorrow. They got soccer practice tomorrow. And the dad here's got a game. He's got his first flag football game of this season. Not a rookie. So we're looking forward to that. And but somewhere in between, in the middle of that, we'll get fired back up get the screenings and all that other googly garp on it, and yeah, figure out how we're going to attach this, if we're going to attach this to the TEMU coop. So, well, good morning, and we are back to day 2 of our Amazon chicken coop build. Got the frame of that built last night, you seen that, and now it's got us working on, this is kind of like the swinging door. So we're starting to run out of pieces, and I think real quickly we're going to be hanging some chicken wire on this thing. But this right here, it just uses these kind of little pipe clamps with a carriage bolt. I can't say that they probably could have done something a little bit different with this, but I didn't build it. I'm just showing you how to assemble this thing. But I'm not going to go ahead and tighten this thing down all the way, but I'm going to tighten it down just enough to keep this thing stable. And for what it's worth, the hardware that they're using, it's a 12mm nut. So definitely made in China, because who in the United States uses a 12mm? But we got that built, and these are going to be our 2 side frames on the side of this where our door is going to swing from. And then from there, it's going to be chicken wire, cutting, and a lot of wire ties and zip ties, and there's a lot of that stuff. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and spin around. We'll get these bars, our vertical supports for the door swing, onto this frame and just keep trucking. Okay, it took a little bit of figuring out the directions. Once they get to this end part, it's not that it's very difficult to figure out what's going on. It's just the pictures. There's no verbiage in any of this instructions. It's just all pictures, and they're really, really small. And if you don't have the best vision, yeah, that could be kind of problematic. I know what you guys are saying. Hey, I thought you said that this thing didn't have any nuts or bolts in it. Well, it's got a few, not many. All right, can we hang this thing to where it looks somewhat decent? Now from there, we can go ahead and get our bars down here installed. I'll tell you what, it is a absolute gorgeous Saturday. We've already been up to the ball fields for the one son's flag football practice, and we got to head back up here in about 30-40 minutes, take the other one to soccer practice. And their games kick off next Saturday. We're pretty excited about that. All right, from here is where you're going to want to take your time. If you have a tape measure, grab that. No, it doesn't say anything about this in the instructions, but we want this frame as square as possible, so our door is as square as possible, because we still have the door hinge hardware we need to install, and that's pretty much it for hardware. It doesn't come with anything else. You want your door centered, and you want it square. Nobody wants to fight that door, opening it. I don't. Maybe you like that stuff, but I don't care for it. I want it right. The only thing I'm looking for is to strike a few measurements. It would make sense to get the square of this set up first. Looks pretty plumb to me. Now we'll be able to kind of test fit our door, and I think that's going to work real nice. Let's go ahead and grab our handy dandy electric ratchet, and we're going to tighten these down. I think the best plan of action is just to run these all the way up until they touch. And she's got to be right at that point, don't she? All right, now we can get our door hardware. I will make note on all these pipe clamps, they all have a hole drilled in the middle of them. Basically right here in the middle, every one of them do. And what that's for is the kit, this coop kit, but this hardware set does come with self-tappers that do have a self-sealing O-ring on them. That way, once you get this thing straightened out, locked down, life's good, the door opens fine, everything is perfect in the world, you can take those self-tappers, run those through theirs, and that'll it'll also seal it, but it'll keep this locked down and keep it from moving at a later time. And the self-sealing washer will help keep the water out of the poles. Although the tops of the poles are open, so I don't really know the reason why there's a self-sealing washer. All right, and the last bits of hardware that we have are going to be the 2 slide pieces that actually hook on here. And then that's going to be your swing. Now, ideally, you're going to want one of these upside down. That way the door can't fall off. Otherwise, when you open the door, you could actually pick it up and take it off. As far as difficulty installing it, if I was to give it a rating, I'm going to give it a 2. This isn't really hard at all. But we have not made it to the chicken wire yet. And that roll of stuff, I'm not going to lie, that just does not look fun. There is some areas in this where an extra set of hands will help. My help took off somewhere. You get those electric scooters for your kids, and so long. I'm going to keep the door a little bit lower because these birds are going to be a little bit more vulnerable from ground predators than anything, since this has a pretty decent roof on it. So next step, chicken wire. I got a helper here. Say hey.
Hello.
Liam, you want to stay on this side over here? And what we're going to have to do, you may have to stay on the outside.
Okay.
Now, this in the directions does not give you, can you stand on that down there?
This?
Yeah. This in the directions does not give you any instruction or guideline to go by, but it does show that it kind of goes this way. Now in this roll that they give you, this bottom piece is kind of messed up. It's not really messed up, it's just where they had folded it over a bunch of times. So I think our best bet is going to be to cut it off and not even use it. Well, the good news is all the chicken wire's done, but I'm not going to lie to you. That was absolutely the most daunting, tedious process of this whole build. The frame, no problem. Everything snaps together. The chicken wire, what a pain that stuff is. But it goes with the territory when you're dealing with a roll of that stuff. Now, it does come with a big roll of wire to string everything together. And I did use a lot of it just to tie the seams together. But I found that the good old-fashioned zip ties, not the one in the kit, buy yourself a better quality zip tie. The zip ties that come with it, they're not very strong. So, but we can see we got this all together. The door's working, and I'm telling you, this took me hours of chicken wire. And one thing I want to mention too is make sure your cuts are pretty accurate, because when this was all said and done, I only had about a spot this long of leftover chicken wire. So there's not a lot of extra for patching stuff in. So keep that in mind. Last on the list is the tarp that goes over 1/3 of this. We're going to go ahead and get that installed. So the tarp that comes in the kit is actually a really nice, basically like a nylon canvas top. It's not your traditional plastic tarp stuff. So longevity wise, I don't know how long this is going to last, but it's definitely going to last a lot longer than anything you're going to get at Harbor Freight. And then of course to secure it, typical bungees, nothing fancy. My wagon is dragging. Finally, can we say we're done with this thing? It has been a daunting process, I'm not going to lie. Worth the money? Absolutely. But plan on spending some real time with it. But tarp is on her. What do you think, Ash?
That's pretty good.
It's going to do the job, ain't it?
Yeah.
Now, quality-wise, you can see some of the bends in these pipes. They're not entirely straight. Even where some of these pipes snap together, the welds, they need to be spread out a little bit. But it's easily to make it all work. But right now, we are not going to do anything other than probably we're all going to grab a corner and haul this thing down to the backyard. And temporarily, just for now, we're just going to set this thing over the existing coop. And this will also give you an idea how large this thing is compared to the TEMU coop. Well, we have this project finally in the bag. We stuck it over top the existing TEMU coop, and you can see exactly what I was talking about how large this thing is against the existing coop. So that is going to make these birds so much happier. We are going to, I think the plan is we're going to keep the hen house on the TEMU coop, but we're going to go ahead and lop off the run that came with that. So they still have a place to go into until we probably custom build something later. But for now, they have tons of space to peck and run around. We can throw scraps and all that good stuff in there. But at the end of the day, this hen house was about $90. I think it is very well worth the money considering everything that comes in the pack. Chicken wire is painful to deal with. That's why those gloves are there. I didn't use them because they're kind of bulky gloves, but it's exciting that they even give them to you. But I think it's a safe bet. It looks like it has the quality that'll last several years, especially being a metal construction. So I will say that that is a safe buy. And we want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Boy, I am sweating fierce.